Welcome to PHTV's News Magazine. Today we will be peering into a wide range of topics and issues affecting students and citizens, from jobs to pregnancy, military recruiting to self-defense, football, education reform, and everything in between. Businesses, individual workers, and families have all been affected by the infamously poor job market these past few years. Emily Ernsberger applies the woes of the job market to rural Indiana prior to the 2012 election. If you ask voters, and even non-eligible voters, they will tell you that the most important issue to them in this election is
economy.
The economy.
The economy.
Economy.
Specifically,
Jobs.
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 As a state once flourishing with factories and industries, Indiana has represented the real essence of hardworking American life. But unfortunately, during the 2008 recession, it was also parallel to unemployment and job loss, and has had an arduous time recovering. In September 2012, the national unemployment rate was 7.8%, while Indiana remained stagnant at 8.2%. As a very rural area, Prairie Heights School District has felt the harsh effects of job loss. Superintendent Alan Middleton has observed the effects on the entire Prairie Heights Corporation.
In our district, we do not have a lot of additional homes and apartments and complexes like that. So people that live here generally have two types of income. They're going to be either working in industry or manufacturing and agriculture. And so a lot of folks lost their second job to coincide with their agricultural work and things like that.
Prairie Heights is not made of one town, but rather multiple sparsely populated towns, such as Orland, Indiana. Orland has a population of approximately 400 people and is the only town in the Prairie Heights School District to have factories. Of course, many places now in the industrial park sit empty and has gained just one new industry in the past few years. Eugenia Garman, who lives outside of Orland and whose children attend Prairie Heights, knows the poor job market as well as anybody else.
I worked at Atwood Mobile in LaGrange in 2000, well, from 1995 till 2007, and they closed the doors. They moved to Iowa, Tennessee, Mexico, and so yeah, there was like 375 employees that lost jobs.
Since Atwood, Eugenia has tried 3 other factory jobs. All but the factories she is currently at have shut down and outsourced. But no one had the same pay rate as Atwood, which is the largest burden to Eugenia. Both presidential candidates have set forth propositions to fix the jobs issue.
I think we've got to invest in education and training. I think it's important for us to develop new sources of energy here in America.
Number 3, make sure our people have the skills they need to succeed, and the best schools in the world. We're far away from that now. Number 4, get us to a balanced budget. Number 5, champion small business.
Indiana typically leans to the right during elections, but citizens are split as to whom will best fix the jobs issue.
I believe that Mitt Romney could fix our economy the best.
I would probably just stick with Obama.
Whichever candidate comes out on top during this election, the citizens of America can look to rural Indiana as proof of governmental success and economic reform. This is Emily Ernsberger signing off for PHTV News.
Premier leadership, personal growth, and career success. This is everything that the FFA is based on. Now, do you want to be a part of this?
Before you say, well, I'm not a farmer, you don't have to live on a farm to be an FFA.
We're not all about cows, plows, and sows here. We're just about making better leaders. Along with being one of the biggest organizations ever, we also have a pretty cool wardrobe as well, including a blue corduroy jacket that everyone wants.
Over 500,000 strong and getting stronger. One of the largest student-led organizations in the United States, where we make our own decisions and make them happen.
If you're interested in becoming a better leader and making changes in your own community, go to www.ffa.org for more information on how you can become a member.
We believe in the future of agriculture. Do you?
Students, you may have heard about the reform in Indiana, and Michael Grady takes a look at how it's affecting teachers at Prairie Heights.
Change is inevitable, and that is exactly what is happening for teachers across Indiana, as they are having new mandates implemented by the RISE initiative. So, what does this mean for students?
One of the main things that I've implemented in the classroom is making sure that we have objectives clearly stated for the students so they know what we are going to be doing for the day.
And I'm also more aware of students that are not on task, because the RISE rubric, that's one of the points in the rubric, so it's made me much more aware of when a student is not doing what they are supposed to be doing.
And teachers are needing to crack down on those students.
Their teachers are being judged kind of against their own performance, against the students' performance.
So teachers must be more demanding and require more out of them, because I'm being held accountable for the decisions you make. If you decide not to do your homework, I'm held accountable for that.
We have this rubric that tells teachers whether they are effective or highly effective or ineffective, and all of our teachers really want to be effective and highly effective. But when students don't seem to care about their work or don't really want to pay attention in class, that hurts not only the teacher, but it hurts everybody.
If you are finding it hard to receive one-on-one time from your teacher, know that teachers are getting a little stressed out and their workload has increased greatly.
It takes up a lot of teachers' time right now to prepare the student learning objectives and to make sure that they have everything in a row. There's a lot of paperwork that's involved with it.
I expected to be planning my lessons and grading papers, but then there is other things that need to happen too, like SLOs and all these other reports.
Which actually takes away from my personal time to plan new things for my students.
Even though teachers will agree RISE is a time-consuming process, it does allow teachers and administrators to view more data per student.
I think that is going to help us focus more on data and how our kids are actually really doing and what they really need. So I think that's a good thing for students. I think it will help our students improve. In the past, we've had test data and we've looked at test data, but this helps us really kind of drill down into individual students and individual class performance to help us better plan our instruction for kids. So I think in that way that is one good piece. It's just that it is a time-consuming kind of thing.
Now students, this is a statewide initiative and not a Prairie Heights mandate, so cut your teachers a break. They are working hard not only to better your teaching, but to improve the school and your learning experience as well. This is Michael Grady for PHTV News, signing off.
When people think about the armed forces, their first thought might be about war. Haley McGregor is here to show you the many opportunities in the United States military.
Four-year degrees are important for students to get a better paying job, but with the cost of college these days, students are not able to make the dream a reality. However, these 5 other options are making college a reality. The 5 branches of the armed forces offer a good education and a place for people to figure out what you want to do in life.
I think if you don't know exactly what career you'd like to go into, the Armed Services offers a great opportunity to kind of see the world and to also get an education, because I know that they will help you eventually get an education if that's what you'd like to do.
For a student to go into the Armed Services, he or she would need to get in contact with a recruiter for whichever branch of the military they would want to go into. And that's really kind of how the process starts. And then they would have regular meetings with that recruiter. The recruiter would also be allowed to contact me for information regarding the student. So really it's up to the student to contact the recruiter, and on occasion we do have recruiters coming into the high school to talk with students, and they can seek, the students can seek those people out when they come to visit.
There are 5 branches of the armed forces: Air Force, Marines, Army, Coast Guard, and Navy.
As of right now, the current class of 2013, we have 4%, which would be actually about roughly 4 students who are currently planning on going into the military. And that is in various branches. I have some who said, I think I have one that said Navy, and obviously one that said Coast Guard, one that also said Army, and then the other wasn't sure. So we're representing possibly 3 or 4 branches of the military here at Prairie Heights.
One more advantage of the military is students get paid for signing the commitment contract and before leaving for basic training. For our school alone, 7 to 11 people each year go into the armed services. That number may seem small to you, but why is going into the armed services not something they consider?
I think going to the armed services is an honorable thing to do. I know that from my own experience, I actually was a military spouse. My husband was active duty in the Air Force, and I think that gave us a good foundation to kind of be on our own and to have kind of a safety net to kind of help us figure out how to be an adult, how to be adults, I should say. And I think serving for the country that we know and live in and love, I think is always just an honorable and wonderful thing for any young person to do.
A student going into the armed services, I would say congratulations, first of all, being accepted into the armed services, and I would say thank you for being willing to serve our country.
I would say good for you, because as I said, I think it is an honorable thing for any young person to devote their life to their country and to serve their country in the armed services. So I would say good for you, and I think that is wonderful.
I'm Haley McGregor signing off from PHTV News.
When you're younger, you learn about the dangers of people you do not know, but your parents are looking out for you. When you get older, you need to be able to defend yourself. Tara Neff finds out why self-defense is so important.
It is a known fact that men are much stronger than women. Each year, there are about 207,754 victims of sexual assault. In 2003, 9 out of every 10 rape victims were female. About 3%, or 1 out of every 33 American men, have experienced completed or attempted rape. Victims of sexual assault are 26 times more likely to abuse drugs and 13 times more likely to abuse alcohol. 44% of rape victims are under the age of 18. Women who are properly trained and confident in their ability to protect themselves can do so quite effectively. Some of you might ask, is self-defense really that important?
In this day and age, it's important for women to be independent and not to rely on men to keep them, financially stable or even to walk around and protect them. So it's important for young girls to learn independence and take self-defense so that way they can take care of themselves.
I think that it's important to learn self-defense because you should always be able to protect yourself, and sometimes that might require you to be able to defend yourself. I think it's definitely important for anyone to take self-defense, just because you never know what's out there and you want to make sure that you are able to protect yourself.
I'll step back. Ready!
I think it's really important for women to take this class because this class is more geared towards women and how we fight and how we can fight.
Some may ask, how will self-defense help young girls?
It will help me just in case anybody attacks me. Self-defense will help me if anyone ever tried to attack me.
The yelling there's 2 reasons for it. When you start fighting, the adrenaline kicks in and the tendency is to hold your breath. So the no basically helps them to remember to breathe.
You're good. No. Hammer fist.
More importantly, what it does is it identifies them as somebody that needs help.
What exactly did our PH students learn by taking this course?
I learned how to defend myself if an attacker came up to me. I learned how to defend myself if anybody attacks me.
I'm Tara Neff signing off for PHTV News.
Fall means popcorn, cold nights, and many days of football. The NFL had an interesting start this year. Levi Tuckerman takes a look at why Sundays in September weren't so black and white.
The NFL had some replacement refs this year, and in my opinion, they weren't too good. Most people seem to agree with me.
My dog could have done a better job than that.
Personally, I think they were fine. Golden.
They were awful. They didn't do very well.
I think they were horrible, especially when Andrew Luck got that pick 6 and got called back. That was ridiculous.
I thought they made calls that weren't correct and they didn't really know what they were doing.
Let it go. Travel!
I don't think the NFL did a very good job training the replacement refs. Basically, because I'm a Packer fan and I think my Packers got shafted on there, but that's just my opinion. It was kind of a last minute thing, so they really didn't have the time to train them.
perfect. There was nothing wrong with them. They were changed just fine.
They need longer and more experience, and they need glasses.
After further review, the runner did not touch second base. Touchdown Celtics.
The reason that the NFL had replacement refs this year was because they could not come to a deal on how much they would pay the real refs.
Could have had talks. They could have, each one has their own little labor union kind of thing. And I know there's disagreements, and people think that, okay, if we just hold out for, a little bit longer, then we'll get what we want. But in this case, it really didn't pan out.
The NFL got these refs from recent college refs and retired college refs.
My dog could have done a better job than that.
I thought they made all the right calls.
Put a bunch of 3-year-old toddlers in.
Probably when the defender caught the ball in the end zone. Well, when the Green Bay defender caught the ball in the end zone, and they called it a touchdown instead of an interception.
So all in all, most people and even news reporters thought the replacement refs did not do their job and were a little bit ridiculous on some of the calls. I'm Levi Tuckerman signing out for PHTV News.
Thanks for watching our first video news magazine. I'm Emily Ernstberger signing off for PHTV News.